Hey guys, I'm coming to you barefaced and my hair is looking like it needs a little bit of work because today I'm going to be taking you guys through a festive makeup and hair for the Christmas period. So Christmas is fast approaching, which I can't believe. Christmas is nearly here, I really can't believe it. Today I thought I'd take you through a cute little festive makeup and hair. It's nothing too crazy, but it's just bringing in those festive, plum, Christmassy, wintry vibes into a makeup look that you can do for Christmas. So I thought I'd show you this little makeup look and we can do it together. I'm just going to put my headband in. So I am waiting for a call, so if I cut out halfway through the video and then kind of come back, that will be why. So first things first, I'm going in with primer. This is the hydrating primer. If you can't already tell, I am getting a little bit sick, so my voice is a little bit scratchy, but hopefully it's not too bad. I cannot do my makeup without primer now. Having that hydrating layer is just a must in my makeup routine now. I don't think I ever do my makeup without primer anymore, which is pretty crazy considering I didn't use it for the longest time. So I'm going to go in with precisely my brow and just start to brush through my brows and give them a little bit more shape. I used to use this a lot and then it sort of ran out and then I didn't pick up a new one, but I thought what better time than to pick up a new one than Christmas, because I want my brows to look amazing and structured and just very full and bushy for Christmas. This is also like the perfect shade for me. It's 3.5 because even though my hair is very warm toned, my eyebrows are very cool. Which makes sense because both my parents are very cool toned in their hair naturally, but me and my sister have very warm tones in our hair, but very cool eyebrows. It's very strange. So now I've filled them through, I'm just gonna brush through them again. Don't do anything too crazy, I just like to fill in where it's a little bit sparse and just give it a little bit more shape. And I just use a very light hand to do it. But yeah, I think this is a really great eyebrow pencil. Next, going in with the NYX Control Freak Eyebrow Gel. This is just the gel I've been obsessed with at the minute, so it's the one I'm going in with. But another really great one is the NYX. I can't remember what it's called, but it's in like a little tube and it's got pink. That's also a really great one, and I do really like the e.l.f. Brow Freeze as well. Now the brows are all done, I'm going to move on to the eyes. So I'm going to use the tiniest bit of my concealer just to pop a tiny bit of the base onto my eyes, just so they have something to stick to and work with. Just gives me a very nice even base because my eyelids are very pink and red naturally, and you can kind of see the veins popping through, so it's just nice to have a bit of an even base to work off of. I do this very, very lightly because my contact lenses can get a little bit irritated by too much product on my eyes. I don't know if anyone else has that. Let me know in the comments if you wear contact lenses, if you have a problem with that too. The palette I'm going to go in with today is the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. Now, I'm sure you guys remember this palette if you are a makeup girl or if you used to be obsessed with the YouTube Morphe collabs with all the YouTubers, was such a thing. But I have to say I really love this palette. I think it's really great and has some really great shades in that we're going to be using today. Going in with a big fluffy brush, I'm just going to go in with this shade here. It's a very light tan shade, which hasn't got too much colour to it, but it's just going to start as the transition and just start to add slight warmth and colour to the eye. It's honestly a great starting shade. It sets down that concealer and just helps you start to blend and build those colours. Obviously, if you have a deeper complexion, I would go in with a deeper transition shade, but any transition shade that works for you. As you can see, it's just starting to warm up the eyes and add a slight wash of colour. Going in with a slightly denser brush, this is actually the Morphe x Jaclyn Hill brush collection. This is the JH33. I'm going in with this shade next to it, which is just a slightly deeper shade, and then I'm going to mix it in with this shade here and start to deepen the eye. I have moved the angle a little bit so I can try and get a bit closer for you guys. You can see the eyes a little bit better. I'm just starting to deepen the socket of the eye. Now I have pretty hooded small eyes, so I am working to that shape, and I'm just adding it a little bit higher than I usually would, just so you can see the colour a bit more. I'm kind of working in that C motion, and then I'm going to go in with the deeper shade in the middle here, and a Ariel times Morphe collection brush. Just looks like this, and start to build the depth up into the socket. And then I am going to bring it in slightly to the inner corner. Taking this brush here, it's from a brand called Kit Starts. It's a small tapered blending brush. I actually really like these brushes, I have a few of them. I'm going to go in with a slightly cooler tone, which is this one at the bottom. I'm going to mix in this one too, so I'm just going to mix the two. I'm going to take the tiniest amount on my brush, make sure there's no excess, and then start to blend that into the outer corner and bring it in, and just sort of add that depth and a slight coolness into the eyes, and then blend that out. Now the thing is, as you can see, when I close my eyes you can't see it, so that to me means I need to bring it up a bit. So I'm just gonna start to buff it into the top a little bit more, just so you can see it as I have my eyes open. You're kind of creating a fake socket to the eye, and then of course the same to the other eye. Sometimes it's easier to do it with your eye open, so you can kind of see where that shade should be to be able to see it, and then you can sort of build it and blend it after you've got that initial colour stamped down. And then make sure you're bringing it into that lower lash line and connecting it. And then I'm just gonna start to blend that through. And then I'm gonna take a big fluffy brush to do that. I'm gonna go back in with the same blender brush that we started with and start to blend that through. You can also go back in with those beginning shades, pick some of those up and just start to buff that over the top, just to bring up a little bit of warmth into the eye and make sure there's a bit of definition between the shades that you've already used. The challenge with having very hooded small eyes is you tend to lose the definition between the shades, and they can kind of all blend together and seem a little bit muddy or one-toned, one-dimensional. So I like to go in with those shades first, then put that deeper shade, and then work on the top into the eyebrow with those warm shades again to try and bring those colours back in. But you can still see that it's still there, but the warmth is really being brought into the top. A tip for you guys, that if you're really struggling, actually bring it up into completely under the brow, and then you can go in and clean that up. That means that you can get the definition and the sleekness of the brow, but also have that colour sort of bring it back in. Like, don't be afraid to bring it really high up in case you feel like it's not gonna look good, because you can clean that up. Like, under the brows is easy to clean up, so don't be afraid to bring it higher than you usually do to try and get that definition. Going in with a flat shader brush, I'm gonna take this shade in the palette here. It's called Obsessed, and I'm just gonna take that on the brush and start to pat that onto the lid, creating an almost cut crease to the eye, but just a little bit softer. Once again, I need to bring this up a little further because my eyes are hooded, so it's harder to see. But if you have a really round eye shape, or eye shape where you can see your eyelid a lot more, you won't have to do that. I'm just creating a cut crease of sorts, but with eyeshadow. I don't want it to be too harsh, so I'm not using water or concealer or anything to make it more prominent. But if you wanted to have a really clean cut crease, you could go in with some concealer or some water and just really make that shine. I want mine to be a little bit softer though. Then taking a really small definer brush, I'm going to go in with this deeper shade that we used earlier, and I'm just going to start to run that along my lower lash line, just on the outer part, and then bring it out and connect it to the shape that we already made earlier. This will just help further define the eye and the look that we're trying to go for. And I'm going to take this really small tapered pencil brush and just start to blend that through. And then buff that along the lash line as well. So I'm gonna leave the eyes like this for now, and then we can move back on to the face. To start the base, I'm gonna go in with my Easy Blur by Huda Beauty, and I've got mine in the shade Creme Brulee 150G. So I'm just gonna put some of that on the back of my hand. And I'm gonna go in with my new sponge. This is the Marshmallow Sponge by Clomana. I'm not sure how you say it, but I'm sure you guys would have seen the sponge on TikTok because it is all the rave and it has been for a while, and I'm a little bit late to the train, but they had discounts on Black Friday and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna pick one up, and I'm absolutely obsessed. I got this one and the smaller one. I think the smaller one is better for under the eyes and a bit more precise, but this is really good for that initial first layer of foundation and to like blend the face completely when I'm working with like the creams of like my contour and blush and that. It's really nice to go in with this and just make sure it all blends seamlessly. But I absolutely love the application that it gives you for the foundation. Usually I'm a big brush girl, but recently since I got this, I've been picking this up and using this instead, and I am a fan. It just gives you a slightly lighter coverage, but it also just gives you the most beautiful, flawless base, which I'm obsessed with. I also love this Huda Beauty foundation. It's one of my favourites. I don't have the primer to go with it, but I do find that my Refy and Tarte primer go with it very well. And I don't know if I'd honestly want to try the Huda Beauty primer. I've heard really good things about it. I don't usually love those sort of silicone-esque blurring primers like the Professional and that. I've never gone along with them. They've never really worked for me. So I think I might give that a miss anyway. But it works with the primers that I usually use, which is a plus. I'm going to go in with the smaller side of this brush and just blend over my eyebrows just to give A, more sharp defined brow, and B, I find that sometimes with the sponge you can't quite get close enough to the brow, so it's just making sure that I haven't got that sort of red hue around my eyebrows, which I feel like you can get when you don't blend around your eyebrows properly. I'm just gonna take it slightly under the eye to clean up and then around the nose, just to ensure that I'm getting all that redness. Because it is winter at the minute, my skin is getting quite red, so I just want to make sure I'm covering all of that up. I'm just gonna buff that out with this side of the brush as well, and go with that sponge again. This is really good for like a quick, easy application. Like if you're in a rush and you just need to get your foundation on your face, I think this is excellent for that as well. So I'm usually going with my e.l.f. complexion dough brush, which I am going to do for my nose with my Milani. This is the Milani Hey Honey 110 Cheek Kiss Cream Bronzer. So I'm going to use this end of the brush. My phone calls here. So I was on the phone here talking to my mum about my doctor's call, which I just had, and that's why I had to end the video. But I'm going in with a Real Techniques contour brush to just add a little bit of warmth to my face with that same Milani bronzer, and I'm just adding it sort of in a 3 motion under my chin and down my neck, just to add warmth, but also a little bit of definition back into my face. I'm really loving this Milani cream bronzer at the minute, and I think I've also determined that I prefer something in a pot or a palette as a bronzer rather than a stick. Okay, so I was just finishing off my bronzer, which is the Milani. I did film that on Snapchat because I also need to talk to my mum about my doctor's appointment. So yes, but now I'm just going to go in with my concealer, and I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty concealer. I'm just going to apply the tiniest amount of that, and then start to blend all of that in with my new sponge. This is the small one, and this is more of your like classic beauty sponge shape, which I do actually love this shape of sponge, and I do love this sponge. It just works so perfectly sort of under the eyes. I know lots of other people prefer the other sponge, and as much as I love that one, I do think I maybe slightly prefer this one, but I don't know. I haven't been using them both that long, so I'm going to need a little bit longer before I can sort of make my decision. Just blending in. This concealer is beautiful. I absolutely love it. It lasts so long. Like my Huda Beauty foundation, and I think it's because I changed up my moisturizer a few days ago and used another one, but the foundation kind of was coming off around my mouth, but my concealer was still intact. So I think that just proves sort of how well it lasts. But now I'm going to go in with some blush. So I'm actually going to go in with this Nude Sticks Nudies blush in the shade, I think it's Picante. Yes, and it is a really beautiful shade. And I am just going to use my brush and just kind of go like this and pick up some of that shade. It's this beautiful red, and I just thought it would bring in those Christmassy tones into the makeup. I'm just gonna blend that in to my cheeks. I am only just applying blush on my cheeks these days because the cold weather is really making my nose already quite red, so I don't want to really add too much to the redness of my nose. And I'm just using this angled brush. It's by Polly, which is, I don't think it's a company anymore. I'm just going to use this bigger sponge to blend that into my cheeks a bit more. But any angled brush will do, or any blush brush that you want to use, just to pick up that colour. It's just such a beautiful shade. Now I'm going to move on to powder. So I haven't picked this up in a while. This is the Rare Beauty setting powder in the shade Light, I believe. Yeah, Light. So I thought I'd pick this up again because I haven't used it in a while and my powders are running low, and I do really like this powder. So I thought, what better than to pick it up? Again, I'm going to go in with a triangle and just set that under my eyes. So this again is a very finely milled loose powder. It gives you a beautiful blowing effect, but it is also more of a hydrating powder than some of the others. I don't find that it's too matte. I find that it's actually a little bit more hydrating and softer on the skin, which if you are very oily, I don't know if that will work for you as a powder, but for me, or for someone with a bit more of a dry skin, I actually think it works quite well. In the summer, I can't use this powder because I just don't find that it mattifies my face enough, but in the winter it's just perfect because it gives you that mattifyingness, but it's not too drying on the skin. I used to use this religiously for a really long time, and I haven't picked up in a while, but I'm really pleased with how it's looking. And then I am just going to go in with a sponge and just blend under my eyes again, and then just where I kind of put the concealer. Okay, so now we have set our face. It's time to go in with those powder products and add a little bit more warmth and a little bit more colour back into the cheeks. Is it my videos recently without this Hourglass Ambient Luminous Bronze Lightning Bronzer? I don't think so. But I'm just going to get in with the big fluffy brush from L'Oreal and this bronzer and just add a little bit more warmth back into the face. And then I'm just going to start to bronze down my neck as well. Now for blush, I'm going to go in with this Hello Wine by Wet n Wild. It just has this sort of ruddy pinkness to it, so I thought it would pair perfectly with Picante. Also add a slight pinkness to the skin. And I'm just going to diffuse that onto my cheeks. And then we blend with our sponge, of course. Now going back into the eyes and using this small tapered brush, I'm going to go in with this shade here, and it's just one of those deeper shades. It's not the deepest shade we use, but it's one of the deeper ones that we use to start to darken the eye, and I'm just gonna start to blend that under the outer half of my lower lash line just to sort of tie all of that together. You can bring it a little bit in as well if you want, but only with a very light hand. Now I'm gonna curl my lashes and go in with the Essence Lash Princess in Waterproof. Usually if you want a curl to last, you should use waterproof. I find that that is sometimes the case, but not always. Some formulas just work better for me personally, but I have to say the Essence mascaras work very well for me. I am a huge fan of them, and I also really like the Refi mascara. Those have been the best for me personally. I'm just gonna go in with waterproof because we are in rainy England and it just rains whenever it likes, even if the weather forecast says that it's not going to. So I want to make sure I have waterproof on in case I get stuck in the rain. For the lips, I'm going in with this Bare Minerals lip liner that literally only comes out this time of year. It says Statement Get It under Over Lip Liner. So I think I'm not sure if the name is Statement Get It or Statement, I'm not sure. But it's this really nice berry red. And I'm just gonna line my lips with this. Now when I'm working with red, I do not like to overline my lips that much because it can get a bit messy and the colour can, I find, run a little bit. So I just tend to stick to my natural lip line. And to finish that off, I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. Jam Session Lip Oil. This is a really lovely, kind of a deeper red shade, and I think it will just finish the lip off, giving you that pop of red, that pop of Christmas, but it's also a little bit more of a subtle shade. Made by Mitchell All Smudge and No Budge Make It Toast Eyeliner. I'm just going to apply a little bit into the waterline at the outer half. So really lovely warm brown eyeliner. And I feel like it just complements this look really well. And it also aids in giving more of a cat eye shape to the eye. And lastly, I'm going to add a little bit of highlighter because of course it's for Christmas, it's a Christmas look, so we want a little shimmer. This is the Wet n Wild's Precious Petal highlighter. I'm just going to apply the tiniest amount to my nose. And then the Cupid's bow. You can add some to the cheeks as well, but I find that with the Charlotte Resetting Spray, that just gives me a lovely glow to the cheeks anyway, so I don't want to enhance that too much. Just speaking of the Charlotte Resetting Spray, let's set the face. So that is the makeup all done, so now let's move on to the hair. So this is sort of how my hair is looking at the minute. As you can see, it's not looking its very best because it's very windy in the UK at the minute, so my hair is very much struggling with the wind and it's kind of almost matting and clumping together in a way, which is not what we want. But I am just going to apply with my Amico dry shampoo just to give a little bit more oomph to the roots because they are looking a little bit flat. Start to blend that through my hair. So now I'm just going to wet it down. I think that might be a good idea to try and help with the frizz. If you haven't got one of these continuous spray bottles and you have curly or wavy hair, you are mixing out. Is honestly much needed. And then I just like to sort of see if I can shake some of these clumped pieces apart a little bit, just because they're a little bit stuck together, and that is not what we want. If anyone else has this issue, please let me know how you deal with it, and then give me some tips and tricks in the comment. I'm always open to try new things with my hair. It is a journey. I am still trying to get it back to its best health because I do dye my hair, so obviously it has dye in it pretty regularly. So now we've kind of separated those clumps a little bit, I'm thinking of what I want to do with my hair. So I'm thinking maybe if I bring these sort of pieces forward, I think that's too much of a piece. I want about that much, I want to say. And then I could do like a bow. I know that's my like go-to look, but honestly I think a cute bow in my hair could really help. I like to just use a brush like this and just sort of comb that top section over a little bit just to get it a little bit smoother. So I want it to hang a little bit lower onto the head, so I am just gonna hold it down, and then I'm gonna use my classic bow. I found a really cute one in Oliver Bonus the other day, which I'm so annoyed at myself that I didn't pick it up, but I'm hoping I can get it online because it's really cute. I think it would just be perfect for Christmas. So now I'm just gonna sort of check that out. It is in the middle and the hair is sitting properly. Now I am just gonna work with these front sections. This is actually supposed to be in there, isn't it? Yeah, because look. So I'm trying out a new gel. This is the Weird Advanced Climate Control Anti-Frizz Humidity Gel, and I am just going to put the tiniest amount in my hand and then water it down with some water, obviously. And then I'm just going to coat these front pieces and then start to roll them a little bit just to give a little bit more shape. And then let that fall and scrunch. And hopefully that will just give it a little bit more shape at the front, because I think if you have these front curls looking good, it really just like makes the hair look better overall. And then I do need to spray this again. So I'm just gonna let my hair dry and I will come back to you with the final look. Okay guys, so this is as dry as my hair is gonna get before I have to run out the door. But this is me all ready, my hair, my makeup for Christmas or festive party, a holiday, gathering, whatever you need a really cute hair and makeup look for. I think this is the perfect one. It's a little bit of eyeshadow, a little bit of a pop of colour to the lips, but it's nothing too much. And I honestly just think it looks so beautiful. And I love having my hair up in a half up, half down with a little bow for Christmas. I just think it looks so cute. And it's probably going to be my signature this whole winter season. Enjoyed this makeup and hair for the festive season, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this Vlogmas video. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow for a brand new video. I can't believe we are coming towards the end of Vlogmas, guys. It's crazy. I'll see you again tomorrow for a brand new video.